Black Stars play Germany in an international friendly ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Thank you for your time here on the Channel 1 Newsroom. Let's now begin the bulletin, and we begin with a disaster that has struck the people of Newtown here in Accra. This is the experimental DA basic schools. If you came here about 36 hours ago, you would find a tall 4-story building here, incomplete, a building that started in 2012 under the GET Fund. Unfortunately, it had stored for many, many years, and then disaster struck. Just about 12 hours ago, the building came down, and in the process, unfortunately killed 3 people and injured about 20. These 20 people are in various hospitals here in the capital receiving treatment. You can see in the background excavators and other earth-moving equipment trying the best they can to remove the debris from the site. My colleague Samuel Akom was here earlier. The Vice President was here, the Minister for the Interior, the Member of Parliament, the District Chief Executive also here. Akom put together a report. Let's now hear Samuel Akom's report.
On Sunday, the 29th of March, tragedy struck the heart of the capital. A building collapsed at the Accra Newtown Experimental DA School, claiming 3 lives and leaving 20 others with severe injuries, a disaster that has left the nation reeling. According to sources, the structure, funded by the Ghana Education Trust Fund, had sat uncompleted since construction began in 2012. What makes this loss of life even more harrowing is that it occurred despite repeated official warnings. The single-story building was explicitly deemed unsafe and unfit for use. In fact, for the past 2 weeks, the Ayawaso Central Municipal Assembly insists it had actively cautioned both local residents and the school community against entering the facility.
So quickly that's about 2 weeks ago. Quickly I sent my security to come and take them off the structure. And you know the normal blacks nature, they started raining insults, curses on them.
Today, a compound meant for learning has been reduced to a scene of sheer devastation. It remains an intense, heavily cordoned area with security personnel deployed in their numbers to manage the crisis. Powerful hydraulic excavators and heavy earth-moving machinery are methodically clawing through the mass of twisted concrete and structural debris as recovery operations enter their final phase. Providing a glimmer of relief amidst the wreckage, the Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization, Major Retired Dr. Joseph Bikanyu-Kunyon, has confirmed that no further victims remain trapped beneath the rubble.
All the procedures came here with the smart dogs. We were able to go to the rubble. We confirmed, and even with the further work of breaking down the beams and other things, we didn't see any other object or any other person under the rubble.
But the danger may not be entirely over. Deeply unsettled residents gathered at the scene urgently calling on authorities to assess a second structure on the premises, which they fear is also on the verge of collapse.
But school dying and what a chili horn, corner one, and crampo the name cross away in the bedroom.
They work from Nanabron, sign a walk on. Okay.
For when so my way won't, but corner Muhodiano.
Saintina, that's Toko the demo.
And no crowd a very dangerous chain way into a Honsum Colano, a Dennis in Colano Muguase.
For now, all students have been directed to stay away from the campus until their safety can be absolutely guaranteed.
We have asked them not to come to school. The security agencies have given us the assurance that they are clearing the place. Once the place is cleared and we are assured of the safety of the space, we'll ask the student to come.
The gravity of the disaster drew immediate attention from the highest levels of government. Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman arrived at the scene to personally assess the damage. After a thorough briefing from security officials, she proceeded to the 37 military hospital to check on the survivors receiving critical care. The Member of Parliament for the area assured the public that comprehensive medical care is being provided to the injured, while delicate efforts are underway to contact the bereaved families, particularly those whose loved ones met their untimely death.
From one family, like 5 of them were in there. So one family, I know there's a family where the mother, there are 2 kids plus their grandma were all in there. So their father was here last night, and we were able to move the mother to 37. So we are trying to reach out to everybody and ensure how we can assist them.
Meanwhile, the majority leader, Mahama Yerga, told the devastated site, offering his profound condolences to the affected families. He did not mince words, pointing to the tragedy as a stark indictment of poor project supervision across the country.
I think that the engineers who supervise these structures, it was an uncompleted project, an uncompleted project, 4-story, uncompleted project. So clearly, those who supervise such projects must be held to account.
It is expected that all the recommendations, which include having assessment of the buildings left to ensure their structural integrity, will be put in place. And so, reporting for Channel One Newsroom, I am Samuel Akom.
One of the victims of this unfortunate disaster lives nearby. An elderly woman lives just about 5 minutes away from the building that's collapsed. She was a member of this fellowship, and on a Sunday had gone to fellowship with them. Unfortunately, the building came down and she lost her life. We'll be speaking with one of her children, her son. We won't be showing his face, so you'll only be hearing his voice, just trying to protect his identity.
Around 5 p.m., I had a distress call from my elder brother. He kept calling, but I was in a church meeting, so I wasn't able to pick up his call. Then I realized my junior sister was equally calling. She also kept calling. I wasn't able to pick the call. Right after the meeting, I returned my junior sister's call. And once she picked up the phone, she was just on the phone, panting, crying. So we actually spoke in Akan. Baby, I'm quite sorry, no. A dining drink almost so. And I was like, how so? How has the building collapsed on them? So what is the current situation? So just around that time, I was around Dansuman. I had to leave Dansuman to Accra Newtown to see for myself what the situation was. When I got to the place, it was the area boys who were trying to rescue those who had been trapped in the building. A few people came out. It wasn't my mom. We were still hoping against hope that we would eventually see our mother also being rescued. They were still rescuing. We saw a few dignitaries coming through. Heavy more equipment were brought on site to help with the rescuing. Still, we weren't seeing our mom as part of those who were being rescued from the trapped building. Around 11 p.m., the very last person who was brought from the building, that was yesterday night, was my mother. She had been wrapped in a white cloth, but we were told she's unconscious. So they were rushing her to the police hospital to seek medical attention. But not knowing she was actually dead in the trap. And they only said that to console us, to give us hope that, well, there is still some little faith, still little hope that she was going to survive. But upon arrival at the police hospital, we were referred to the morgue, and she was disfigured. It looks as though the thing hit her right on the head. So if not for the dress she was wearing and some few marks she has on her hand, it would have been very difficult to even identify that Agnes Fiano lying there. Her face disfigured, her jaw has been moved, and such a sad situation.
And you're still watching the Channel One newsroom here on Channel One TV. We're still trying to make sense of what has happened in Newtown, the building collapse disaster that struck about 12 hours ago. So we've come to the Institution of Engineering and Technology Ghana here in Accra. We've been met by the president of the Institution of Engineering and Technology Ghana. So this building, we're told, started in 2012. So it's been stored for about 15 years. Is that a good enough reason for it to collapse? The fact that it's stored for so many years? Or there may be other factors that could have ended in this?
Let me say that the fact that the project has delayed doesn't mean that it should collapse. And when the project is not done right, some of these things will happen. In engineering or material science, there is something that we call creep. When you load a structure up to a point and it goes beyond its creep limits, you may not add any other load, but then it will continue to fill. From my point of view, I think that is what happened. So there are three things that could cause the collapse of this building. One would be the design, the faulty design. The second one would be the construction and the supervision. And then the third one would be the materials that they use in the building. So talking about the design, if you look at the structure itself, you're looking at the columns, what some of us call pillars, you realize that the size would not be good enough, even though, let me say that Engineering Council will be putting up a committee in place to investigate to know the exact cause of the collapse. But from engineering point of view, looking at the structure itself, four-story building could not be carried by that.
The pillars as we saw.
That is it. Then we look at the size of the beams. You can clearly see that the size of the beams are far bigger than that of the columns. And there is something that we also call segregation. You can see from the beams that at a point in time you have the coarse aggregate separating itself from the fine aggregates, which weakens concrete. And all these things are evidence that the construction itself was not properly done. Then again, we come to the supervision. When the project is going on and we realize there are things that are not going right, the supervisor is supposed to draw this attention. And I understand that the engineer at the assembly wrote officially to get fund, indicating the fact that things are not going right. I understand they came to look at it some time ago, but nothing was done. And eventually that led to the collapse.
Now, you mentioned the engineer at the assembly. So this particular structure is in the Ayawaso Central Municipality. If you're advising engineers within the various municipalities on some of these issues, what would you say to them?
And so what I would tell them is that the building regulation LI 2465 provides that when you issue permit to a developer, you are supposed to do something that we call post-permit supervision. You don't just issue the permit and go and rest. You are supposed to ensure that what has been approved for the developer, that is exactly what it's doing. So, and let me say this to all the assemblies, not only in the engineers. After taking permit money from the developer, please allow the engineers to supervise the project. Sometimes it will surprise you to know that you go to the assembly, the vehicles that they will use to supervise these projects are not there. Even common switch hammer to test the strength of the concrete, they don't have it. The materials or the equipment they are supposed to use to detect the size of the iron rod inside the building and their strength, they don't have it. And so when we take permit from the developer, you are supposed to resource the works department to do this. Most assemblies don't pay much attention to post-permit supervision, but they concentrate on the permitting of the buildings, which I would say that could cause some of these things. You can have a very good design. You can have a very nice, you have all the requirements, and you can permit the person to go and put up the building. But then if you don't supervise it, the person can go. Of course, contractors will always want to maximize profit. If you don't get any other person making sure that what has been approved is what is being done, they can do some of these things. The project can last a year, two or 2 years, and then it will come down.
Former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has urged the government to complete all store agenda 111 hospitals started under his administration. He says the project, which aims to build 111 hospitals nationwide, will improve access to healthcare. Speaking at the launch of the Chibi Government Hospital's 100th anniversary, he stressed that finishing the hospitals will boost healthcare quality and should not be politicized.
Speaking at the launch of the Chibi Government Hospital Centenary celebrations organized by the Achimba-Buakwa Traditional State and the Chibi Government Hospital, former President Akufo-Addo indicated that the completion of these hospitals will significantly enhance the quality of healthcare in the country. He emphasized that healthcare delivery should not be politicized.
Agenda 111 was designed to correct this imbalance by constructing district hospitals, regional hospitals for the newly created regions, specialized psychiatric facilities, and the rehabilitation of key health institutions across the country. It is a program that reflects a simple but powerful principle that no Ghanaian, regardless of location, should be denied access to quality health care. We must also be honest. Not every project was realized. Not every project was completed. Some facilities reached advanced stages but could not be finished before our term ended. Agenda 111 must be continued.
The overlord of Achimba-Buakwa State, Osajifo Amoetia Oforipeyin, who also reiterated the need for the retooling of the 100-year-old facility, called on all stakeholders to come together to help improve the quality of healthcare delivery in the area.
Not only say me, am I frustrated, but the nurses and doctors are also equally frustrated. 100 years later, there's no scan machine in Chebi Hospital. 100 years later, there's no quality laboratory in Chebi Hospital. They send them to Koforidua or somewhere else. And even if they have to do the lab, sometimes it costs 4,200 cedis for a patient. How are they going to pay for it? So sometimes it's sad that you can correct certain things, but you're not resourceful enough. You don't have it.
Now, residents and opinion leaders in Sambuli in the Saboba district of the northern region have expressed frustration over the shortage of healthcare workers and inadequate infrastructure at the community's main health facility. The facility, which serves as a referral center, caters to an estimated population of about 30,000 from Sambuli and Pabla sub-districts. However, it lacks adequate infrastructure, including beds, an ambulance, and sufficient healthcare personnel. Our Northern Bureau Chief, Shawana Yusuf, has more in this report.
The Holy Cross Clinic, which serves as a major referral center for about 40 communities in the area, is currently operating with a 12-bed capacity and limited staff strength, affecting efficient healthcare delivery. Health workers at the facility attribute the staffing challenges to poor network connectivity and bad road network. This, according to residents, discourage professionals from accepting postings to the community.
2024, they post some nurses. They gave us about 13, which include midwife, community health nurses, and staff nurses. Out of the 13, it was only 4 that we had. And the information was that when you call them, that, oh, me, I know Sambuli already in the Sabuwa district. There's no network there. If I come, I will not get network to call my people. I will not even know what is roaming in the world. So it's better I find my way somewhere. So out of the 4, the rest went away. We called them, they will tell, what they will tell you is the network issue.
Reverend Sister Berlin Grace, the clinic in charge, told Channel 1 News that the facility becomes overwhelmed during the rainy season, often forcing staff to admit patients on the floor and on benches.
Our bed capacity is 12. And when the children come, we bring them to the OPD and keep the benches together, 2 or 3, and start the IV for the children. And also the maternity cases. Only 3 beds we have. So altogether total 12 beds we have in our facility. So we really find difficulty in detaining the patients, and
staff are therefore appealing to government to provide the needed support and introduce incentives to attract and retain staff in remote areas. Meanwhile, the regent of Sambuli has called for improved network connectivity, noting that it will help address some of the challenges facing the community.
Construct the road for us and work on our network issues, because if we are on leave and we want to go home, you have to struggle before you reach to Tamale. And if we are in the rainy season, you can't go home, all because the road will be flooded with water. So we are pleading the government to come and work on the road and also compensate us for working like we are overworking. So we urge the government to compensate us at least small.
Authorities are calling for government intervention to ensure that these issues are resolved to prevent staff who usually would run away from the facility due to the conditions in which they find themselves. They want government to tackle the issue of network and also furnish the facility to be able to take care of healthcare delivery in the area. For Channel 1 News, I am Shawana Yusuf, reporting from Sambuli in the Saboba district of the Northern Region.
You're watching the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Still ahead.
Government to introduce Loans Act for accountable borrowing.
Please don't go away. We have details of that and others in a bit.
The best part of going home is family.
Sit up! Hey, mommy, my wife is cooking something delicious.
Lizzie Shito, hot pepper sauce, spicy. Bona yete, Lizzie, oh Lizzie. Lizzie Shito,
Lizzie Shito, the Shito is Shito. Lizzie Shito, overfill.
Ma, Lizzie Shito. Please, can I take some to school tomorrow?
Yes, my son, you can. Lizzie Shito dear. Ebesu obiasu.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy and
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Spicy.
For bulk purchase, kindly contact 050-168-3344 or 050-155-0998. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you planning to relocate from your company office or house, whether across cities to another town or halfway around the country? You want a moving company you can depend on to get you there? Let me introduce you to Logistics Movers. We are here to help you every step of the way, from planning the move to unpacking the last box and settling into your office or home. We have the expertise, experience, and market understanding and offer fast, reliable, and professional transportation services in Ghana. Our main thrust is to successfully move your business, household items safely, on time, and hassle-free. You can call us on 0246 833 539 or 0244 342 465. You can also send us an email to info@logisticsmovers.com or check our website www.logisticsmovers.com. Why expose your company or household items to theft or damages when you are relocating if it's avoidable? Logistics Movers, we help you relocate.
You're welcome back. This is the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Standing by in studio with CNR Business is Nathalie Nete Ajao.
In business, Ghana is set to introduce a new Loans Act to regulate the use of borrowed funds, ensuring that every loan is tied to high-impact value for money investments. Finance Minister Dr. Kasiela Toforson announced in a Facebook post on Monday, March 30, that the legislation forms part of broader reforms to strengthen fiscal discipline and safeguard the country's debt sustainability. Here is more.
According to Dr. Forson, the new Loans Act will ensure that all future borrowing is strictly tied to projects with clear measurable benefits, reinforcing the government's focus on debt sustainability and fiscal accountability. He emphasized that Ghana's borrowing strategy will prioritize projects that deliver tangible benefits to citizens. The finance minister made the announcement alongside news that Ghana has signed its 11th bilateral debt restructuring agreement, this time with the Export-Import Bank of India. He said the move is part of ongoing efforts to stabilize the economy and ease the country's debt burden. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to honor all restructured obligations on schedule and avoid a return to unsustainable borrowing practices that contributed to recent financial challenges.
The new price floor set by the National Petroleum Authority for the first pricing window of April will see diesel selling at a minimum of 17 Ghana cedis 10 pesos per litre, while petrol is pegged at a minimum of 13 cedis 30 pesos per litre. Liquefied petroleum gas will also sell at a minimum of 10 cedis 71 pesos per kilogram. The revised price benchmarks reflect movements on the international oil market amid renewed geopolitical tensions in the Middle East that continue to drive volatility in global crude prices. Daniel Sakiti has more in this report.
The new price floor represents a sharp increase from the second pricing window of March, when petrol, diesel, and LPG were set at 11 cedis 57 pesos, 14 cedis 35 pesos, and 10 cedis 67 pesos respectively. Under the revised petroleum pricing guidelines, the price floor constitutes the minimum threshold at which oil marketing companies and LPG marketing companies are permitted to retail petroleum products. It remains to be seen how competition among OMCs evolve in the upcoming pricing window following the intense price war witnessed in the latter part of March. All industry players are expected to comply with the new price floor or face regulatory sanctions. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies is projecting petrol, diesel, and LPG export prices to rise by 8.06%, 9.76%, and 1.81% respectively. The projected price increases are mainly caused by ongoing tensions in the Middle East, rising global crude oil and refined fuel prices, and transport risks along key trade routes such as the Strait of Hormuz, which have disrupted supply and affected global oil markets.
Indigenous mining firm Engineers and Planners Company Limited has dispatched 30 semi-knockdown Caterpillar 785D pump track units to its operational base in Takwa. The consignment forms part of a broader order of high-capacity dump trucks, with this batch representing the final delivery to the site. There's more in the following report.
The phased deployment of the equipment reflects a strategic effort to scale up fleet capacity and enhance efficiency in mining operations. The move underscores E&P's continued investment in strengthening its logistics and haulage capabilities, positioning the company to improve output and operational performance at the Takwa site. The Caterpillar 785D dump truck is a key asset in large-scale surface mining designed for high productivity and efficiency in material haulage. Its addition to the fleet is expected to significantly improve turnaround times and overall operational throughput. In 2018, the company committed an estimated $650 million to its operations in Takwa and Daman mine, with plans to further invest around $1.2 billion in Takwa and Daman mines.
Let's now get a quick update on how the local currency is performing on the interbank market and prices of crude oil on the international market. And that's all for business. I am Netalinete Ajaho.
This is still the Channel 1 newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Now on to some other stories.
Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyakwampim has revealed that Rance Logistics has refunded over 19 million cedis to the state just a week after it was cited in the Auditor General's special report for multiple infractions. The company was flagged over its alleged involvement in a scandal involving missing grains, overpayments for services, and tons of rice and maize that could not be accounted for. Our parliamentary correspondent Ni Ayukuo Kai has more in this report.
Under the Farmer Food Relief and Recovery Program, a transportation company, Rance Logistics, was contracted to transport 134,000 metric tons of maize and rice to farmers across the country at a cost of 115.2 million Ghana cedis. However, the company transported only 35,000 metric tons, work valued at 30.9 million Ghana cedis, yet it was paid 50 million Ghana cedis. In addition to this, Rance Logistics received 7,311 metric tons of rice, equivalent to 14,622 bags of 50 kg each, valued at 11.7 million Ghana cedis in lieu of cash for no work done. This brings the total payment to 61.7 million Ghana cedis. Consequently, the Auditor General disallowed a further payment of 65.2 million Ghana cedis requested by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture for the company. Former Director of Procurement at the Ministry of Food and Agriculture offered justification for the delay in supplying the remaining grains.
The supplier agent.
Supplier's agent.
Yes. And some other youth came there.
Okay. To come and take the rice.
No, they didn't take it, but they prevented it from access. The rice is there.
The rice is there?
Yes.
They prevented you at that time to go and access the rice?
Yes.
But now they didn't take anything?
They didn't take it.
And the rice is there?
Yes.
Okay.
People came and took over the warehouse.
When was this? When was this done?
That is after the elections.
After the election?
Yeah, we have to get the military to even intervene, but still.
So then this claim about they not distributing and all of that is non-existent. Can you have access to it now?
No.
Why not?
The agent is still not giving us access.
The agent is still not giving you access?
Yes.
Okay. Is it because you haven't paid them?
We have paid the supplier, but the agents are claiming that the supplier haven't paid them.
The Public Accounts Committee subsequently directed all parties involved to appear before it on Thursday.
The supplier and then the agent here Thursday. And then the ministry will have to come with them. Yes. And we'll find out on Thursday if the maize is there, if the rice is there.
Appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem disclosed that Rams Logistics has since refunded 19 million Ghana cedis.
Rams Logistics was the company that was stated to have been overpaid for the transportation of grains. Exactly a week after the presentation, the company has gone ahead to refund 19.1 million cedis to the state.
He also indicated that the Attorney General will soon make recommendations regarding infractions identified in the special audit report.
The Attorney General is working with his team to recommend the right course of action for all these infractions that have been identified. So this is to show that the audit was necessary, the audit was intended, and is beginning to achieve its purpose of saving and protecting public funds.
Now on to some other stories.
President John Dramani Mahama has met members of civil society organizations to discuss issues of illegal mining, also known as galamsey, and governance in the country.
Regarding LGBTQ plus issues, it remains a highly emotive and sensitive issue, even in the most advanced liberal democracies. I explained during my recent engagement with the World Affairs Council that it's not the most important issue we face as a nation. We're still grappling with the provisions of basic needs of education, healthcare, jobs, food, clothing, and shelter. Nevertheless, the private members' bill introduced in Parliament has sparked a complex and sensitive national conversation. Our position is guided by our Constitution, respect for human rights and dignity of all persons, and the need to preserve social cohesion. While there are strong and differing views within our society, we believe that these issues must be addressed through democratic processes, our core values, dialogue, and the rule of law. I'm also mindful of reactions from our international partners, including the recent developments such as Lincoln University's withdrawal of their honorary doctorate. These developments underscore the importance of continued engagement and mutual respect, and of situating our national decisions within our constitutional and cultural context. Government is intensifying efforts to combat galamsey, promote sustainable land and water use, and strengthen environmental governance. We look forward to closer collaboration in safeguarding our natural resources for future generations.
The Association for Responsible Mining and Development, a community-based organization championing responsible mining and sustainability, has lauded Keith Goldfields for its recent operationalization of the Bogoso Pristia mine. Addressing a press conference at Bogoso in the Western region, the group called for support for the current operators of the mine. Channel 1 News' Western Bureau Chief Akwasi Ejianim has more.
The Bogoso Pristia mine for over 2 years was rendered inactive by Future Global Resources, with its equipment rotting away due to lack of maintenance and investment. This situation created non-payment of worker salaries and the collapse of the local economy of Pristia and Bogoso communities. However, with a takeover by Keith Goldfields within the last 1.5 years, the Association for Responsible Mining and Development, ARMD, says there has been rapid progress.
Keith Goldfields have not just made this vision a reality, they have given the people of Pristia, Bogoso, and surrounding communities hope. We are pleased to acknowledge the payment of outstanding salaries, bonuses, and provident fund contributions owed the workers of the previous operator of the Bogoso Pristia mine for the period of 2024 and 2025. This intervention has brought immense relief and dignity to affected workers and their families. It's estimated at 139 million Ghana cedis. For this, the former worker is optimistic of the revamping process.
Addressing a press conference at Bogoso, the Association for Responsible Mining and Development said Heat Goldfields has turned around the story of the mine and economy of Bogoso and Pristia, which calls for support of both government and locals.
Give Heat Goldfields the support and time to rebuild the Bogoso Pristia mine. 3. Swift and decisive measures to protect the significant investments made by Heat Goldfields and to ensure the long-term viability of the Bogoso Pristia mine.
Now, the Motor Transport and Traffic Department and the National Road Safety Authority have issued a strong warning to road users against exceeding speed limits on the Accra-Flower stretch, especially as the Easter festivities approach. Now, the warning was delivered during a sensitization exercise for drivers caught exceeding speed limits along the Accra-Flower Road, conducted by the National Road Safety Authority, the MTTD. Channel 1 News' Manuel Ayama was present at the exercise and reports.
The sensitization exercise, prompted by the rising number of road traffic crashes and casualties, forms part of a nationwide visibility program aimed at strengthening road safety education, enforcement, and responsible road use. The exercise took place along a section of the Accra-Aflawo stretch, where drivers caught exceeding speed limits were stopped, educated on the risks involved, and warned against speeding, particularly as the Easter festivities approach.
There's no eye. You can't see it. They are there. If you want us to call them, they will show you your cars, and on top of your various registration vehicles, we have the speed you are doing on what? On it. It's the latest what? Technology when it comes to speed detection. So we are warning you. You might be forgiven today, but tomorrow, no. When it comes to regulation, 160 of the road traffic regulation, when you're on a road and you get to where there is what? Some settlement, whether village, whether it's what? A town or whatever. By default, you are not supposed to do more than 50 kilometers per hour. When you're approaching a mosque, when you're approaching a school, when you're approaching a hospital, or where there is human protection, you are not supposed to do more than 30 kilometers.
Speaking during the exercise, the head of corporate affairs at the National Road Safety Authority urged drivers to strictly adhere to road regulations, especially speed limits, to avoid penalties and help safeguard lives.
So when we are talking about speeding, we are talking about hazards. We are urging all drivers to be defensive. For you to get to your destination safely, you have to be cautious, you have to be defensive. For you to be able to withstand all hazards, you have to reduce your speed. So we are pleading with all of you. My brother warned you. I'm adding my voice to it. The National Road Safety is saying that for this Easter period and beyond, you have to be a safe driver, a defensive driver. You have to comply with all the road traffic regulations, because there are penalties. At the end of the day,
Well, drivers or road users have been urged to respect traffic regulations in order to avoid any penalties, especially as we are heading into the Easter festivities. For Channel 1 News, I am Manuel Ayama.
Now, Channel 1 TV and City FM's 2026 Back to Your Village Food Festival, a two-day event organized to celebrate authentic Ghanaian cuisine, has ended with rave reviews. My colleague Nashika Caesar has a wrap in the following report.
The Afra Sutherland Children's Park was buzzing with activity over the weekend as thousands turned up for the 2026 Back to Your Village Food Festival. The event sought to reconnect patrons and tradition through food and music. About 200 vendors displayed a wide array of Ghanaian dishes, including banku with okra stew, fufu with light soup, apapansa with crabs, and tozafi, among others. The one opened on a high note, with vendors expressing satisfaction with patronage and reporting strong sales.
Green seafood okra. As you can see, you have shrimps, you have crab, and you have salmon. Very tasty, one of the best. I'm actually cooking yakayake on set. Unlike before, we cook it from home and bring it, but today it is live and colored. You see the process and you see the outcome. So the people are loving it.
It's a very good event and it's going on.
Usually, Koshiari Meko comes to just the red pepper, but I see you have different types of. Yeah.
This is the red pepper, we have green pepper, we have ginger and garlic.
Patrons also shared the excitement, commending the quality and taste of the meals on offer.
Fufu, bushmeat, salmon. How is it like? Oh, it tastes good. Yeah, especially the bushmeat. It's been a long while. I took some, so at least I'm enjoying it.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
What are you eating?
I'm having abobitadi with akle. I think this is akle. This is like my first time trying it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very tasty and flavorful. Yes, I'm really enjoying it. It's a very nice delicacy, and I'm enjoying what I'm having. There's the pinot. It's very good. Yeah, that's it. I think it's a stock of either turkey or pork to make it, so it's good food.
A heavy downpour in the early hours of Sunday threatened to disrupt activities, but patrons defied the rain to attend the grand finale in large numbers. The Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Acts, Abla Jifa-Gomashi, and the Deputy Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Rita Na Odolisowa, joined the celebrations on the final day. The Tourism Minister urged Ghanaians to embrace and promote locally made products to help drive economic growth.
My reason for making time to be here once again is to show solidarity and appreciation to City FM and Channel 1 TV for everything you do in the month of March, for as long as I can remember. So here's a clap for Samens, Bernard, Caleb, yourself, Rema, Abioko, all of you, for the amazing work that you do.
Vendors recorded brisk businesses on Sunday and called for the festival to be sustained.
It's a city event, so it's a good event, and we keep coming back because the returns is always massive. Day one yesterday was good, and we are back here.
This is actually access to markets for us. So first, you are bringing the people together. They are getting to see our brands. They are getting to taste our meals and our products.
Patrons who attended the final day described the experience as enjoyable and fulfilling.
My experience so far has been amazing. This year, I'm actually very happy you guys moved all the way to Equus and the Little Park, so it's giving us a bigger space.
I think it will help because I think this one is done only in the month of March. So then you have to wait till another March. So if they can do maybe 2 or 3 more, not just maybe City FM, but if the government or something, I think people will actually like to enjoy African or Ghanaian food.
Frema Edunyami, the head of events and partnerships at City FM and Channel 1 Television, described this year's edition as a huge success.
It's been a great experience. We really love what is going on. And now we are very, very convinced that Ghanaians really love our indigenous meals. We've moved to a bigger space, and so we've been able to accommodate a bigger number of vendors, over 200 vendors. This is the biggest we have hosted, and it's exciting that we call and the people respond. Getting a bigger number in terms of vendors also means that the variety is wider. It means now the patrons will also be more because we have space to accommodate them.
The 2026 Back to Your Village Food Festival was powered by Channel 1 Television with support from City FM and sponsorship from EcoBank, Gino, Didi Shito, Manchi Biscuits, the National Petroleum Authority and Everpack.
This is still the Channel 1 newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Still to come. Black Stars play Germany in an international friendly ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're back in a bit. Please stay with us.
Next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Freddy Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Freddy once now.
Hey, is that you?
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Freddy Sasso quell. Yeah, cool, to my Sasso,
Sasso, come tum preko.
Thank you for staying with us here on the Channel 1 Newsroom. Next is sports with Bernard Abeku, who is standing by in studio.
Let's talk some international football. The German national football team proved too powerful for the Black Stars of Ghana, defeating them in a commanding display at the MHP Arena. Despite the spirited start from Otuado's side, Germany's clinical finishing highlighted Ghana's defensive vulnerabilities. The loss follows a heavy 5-1 defeat to Austria, leaving the Black Stars with serious questions to address ahead of their preparations in the United States for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Otuado and his technical team now face the task of tightening their defense and finding consistency before the global stage.
Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Do visit our website, channel1newsonline.com, for more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel 1 TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel 1 TV.